Welcome back to another episode of Rob Sports Center. Man, so I've been so locked in on high school football, guys, that there's been a lot of news going on with the Saints right now, and I haven't yet to touch on any of it. But the biggest thing was a potential Devante Adams trade. Now, if you guys have been consistent watching my videos, you would understand the reason behind my answer that I'm about to give y'all onto whether or not I think that Devante Adams will be that big of a benefit to the New Orleans Saints offense. And you know, honestly, if you ask me, I'm gonna be 100% transparent, 100% honest. First of all, I want to call so before I start this video, I also want to let you guys know that by no means am I a guru or I can't think of the word I'm looking for right now, meaning that I'm just giving my take on this. Nothing that what I say is 100% accurate, and nothing what I say is 100% false. I'm just giving my take based off what I see from the Saints. You know what I mean? So I just want to be clear with that. I'm not saying that my word is law, and I'm not saying that the New Orleans Saints should say, you know what, Rob said this, so let's not go get Devante Adams. I'm just giving my take onto whether or not I think that it would be that big of an addition. So with me getting that cleared up, let me just tell you guys why I believe that wouldn't be a big addition. Because if you ask me, when I look at our receiving core, right, I see Chris Olave, I see Rashid Shaheed, and I see talented receivers. I see receivers who can stand on their own in the NFL. You know what I mean? When I look at the Saints, I don't look at our receiving core. A few years maybe when it was just Michael Thomas predominantly. But when I look at the Saints, I don't look at us as a struggling receiving core. I look at us as a vibrant receiving core. Now, granted, bringing a guy like Devante Adams, just being who Devante Adams in terms of his experience in the NFL, I think that could be good to mold, you know, the youngsters like Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed. But do I think that receiver is where we're struggling at? Absolutely not. I mean, obviously, you can say, okay, I think we're struggling the offensive line wise, being that we just lost lost our center or whatever the case may be. So that's a vital standpoint. You can say, okay, let's go see if we can find some centers who are in the free agent market if this guy that we have behind this guy isn't doing what we expect him to do. So it's like, okay, if we're hurting at center, if where we're lacking at is on the offensive line aspect, right? Going to get a receiver is not going to undo all those problems, because a receiver is only beneficial to whether or not the quarterback can consistently get him the ball, right? So a quarterback to a certain degree to a receiver is only beneficial of how often can he get him the ball. So I'm not saying that this is our problem, but if we're struggling offensive line wise, right? We're struggling, this is where we're hurting at. And we go and get a receiver, and our offensive line that we have can't hold up long enough for us to get Devante Adams the ball every time, then what good is that serve? Let's just be honest. Devante Adams isn't a Tyreek Hill, meaning he doesn't have the blow over the top speed like Tyreek Hill or Rashid Shaheed, meaning that in those one-on-one matchups, when you got guys that stat fast, you can always rely on the long ball, you know, because 9 times out of 10, with the short amount of time, that will be open. If not, and it's a pass interference. Devante Adams is more of a finesse between the numbers type of game. So sometimes some of those routes are long breaking, and you need to be able to hold up in the pocket in order to get him the ball. So that's why I'm saying I don't think that it would be beneficial. I'm a big Devante Adams fan. If you ask me, I was talking to a guy during, I want to say probably maybe it might have been towards the beginning of the season, or it might have been off season, I can't really remember. And we were talking about like top receivers in the NFL. And I told him, for me, my top one is a 1A and a 2A. I know I see a lot of people always say that, well, 1A and a 1B, and they can be flip-flop, and that's Devante Adams and Justin Jefferson. That's just my opinion. We'll get on to that another time. But this right now, we're just speaking about Devante Adams' impact if he was to be able to come to New Orleans. And that's my take on it. I think that he's a phenomenal receiver, one of the best receivers to ever play the game, and one of the best receivers to still play the game. But I don't think that he's going to be the answer to all of our problems. I think that our problems are a little bit more deeply rooted than just going to go get Devante Adams. Now, I know a lot of people like to think blindly and like to think unrealistic, and they say, okay, cool, if Derek Carr is the problem to what you're saying, don't you think going to go get Devante Adams, his former college quarterback, was former college receiver, and his former receiver with the Raiders, don't you think that would be a good addition? I mean, I don't believe so. Because if you're a good quarterback, you're a good quarterback. A good quarterback can perform with subpar talent, and a good quarterback can perform with up to par talent. You know what I mean? If you ask me, from a Saints fan, what I've seen, you know, from the last, since we lost Breeze, that's consistently where we have struggled at. So a lot of people I see like to put deep blame on the defense. Bro, let me get y'all to understand one thing. when we're talking about the NFL, we're talking about some of the best athletes in the world. We're talking about guys like, when we're talking about this, we're going to go to receiver on this one. When people, because everybody who had what they had to say about Paulson Adebo's pass interference, yeah, do I think that Paulson Adebo is the weak link in our secondary? But to sit there and blame that loss on him, I'm gonna take a word from Stephen A's dictionary, is preposterous. Now let me get you to understand why. Look at Justin Jefferson. Look at Jamar Chase. Look at Amon St. Brown. Look at Devante Adams. Look at Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle. So look at these guys and look at the havoc that these guys cause and can cause on a week-to-week basis. So just imagine saying, as a defensive coordinator, telling my guys or telling your guys to say, hey, check this out, bam. The offense can't keep drives sustainable enough to get you guys rest. So every 3 or 4 plays, because it's probably going to be a 3 and out, or we're probably going to get 1 first down and you guys are going to be running back on the field, you are still expected to stay in front of these guys and limit them to next to nothing. With very minimal recovery, next to nothing. And who does that fall back on? The offense, because they can't keep sustainable drives enough. And who is the leader of the offense, if you ask me? Derek Carr. Right? Now, I know I might be saying stuff that hurt a lot of people's feelings because y'all don't like being realistic, but at the end of the day, it's about being realistic. I like Derek Carr as a person, right? From what I've seen from him, he's a God-fearing man. I respect that about him. But we're talking about in between the white lines, and I just do not think that he is that as a quarterback. That's just my honest opinion. Now, show me his body of work. That's all I'm asking. This is the same thing that I was dealing with when I was debating with Saints fans. And I'm a Saints fan, by the way. This is the same thing I was dealing with when I was debating Saints fans with Jameis Winston. Show me his body of work to show me why do y'all believe so heavily on him. I understand. Is it because of lack of resources? Because we have no other option but to believe in him? But show me, what is it that you see from him from a week-to-week, game-to-game basis that makes you think that he is that? The guys that's there is showing you that week-to-week. They're showing you that. And I know a lot of y'all gonna say, oh, you can't compare him to him. But I'm just saying, the great ones know how to figure out how to do it. Patrick Mahomes, losing receiver after receiver. They're still copacetic, right? Still undefeated, right? So I'm saying that to say the great ones figure out how to win. We've seen it with several of them throughout the history of NFL. Not even just NFL, but college or whatever. We've seen that. So you don't get the luxury of saying, okay, just because this person goes down, the season is over with. You still have to find a way to win. You still have to find a way to stay afloat. You see what I'm saying? And if you ask me, a lot of it reverts back to the quarterback situation. Once again, this is just my take on it. But I just want to briefly touch in on that because I got another topic I want to touch in too. So I didn't want to make this video too long-winded. But I seen that was going on. And like I said, man, I've been locked in with high school football. I'm about to get ready to be filming a video now. And when I was just filming the video, putting stuff together, preparing for it, I ran across this and I was like, man, I got to get back on my Saints news and information and putting it out there for you guys and giving my take on whatever's going on in there, you know. So that's basically what this video is. Like I always tell you guys, man, my comments are it's an open platform. You can come in whether you hate, whether you love, whether you disagree, whether you agree. You can come in, and that's what it's here for. And some of the comments that I've got on my last video is what I plan on making a video about after this video. So stay tuned for that, man. But like always, man, you guys did enjoy this video, man, do me a big favor, man. Smash that thumbs up button. Also, if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. And when you subscribe, click that post notification bell where you be notified if you like New Orleans Saints news, because, man, I see that y'all liking it, so I'm going to keep this stuff coming out. So if you like that New Orleans Saints news, content, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button, man, and I'll see y'all in the next video. I'm out this day. Peace.